right. So I hope you practice it a lot. Just so you know, breakout and break and retest strategies are basically the most important ones because literally all of the retail look for new highs or new lows to be created to confirm their entry. It's basically how structure is. We don't look at structure the same way. We look at it as a specific way, and I'll show you eventually. So please focus on really practicing and looking into the charts how you see structure and how breakout and break and retest traders enter. Next on the list, trend trader. I think a lot of you already know what it is. It's basically trend line traders, channel traders, traders that are looking for trends, right? So basically, you already know how a trend line works, downwards or upwards trend line. They also rate for retests, like break and retest traders. So basically, if it breaks high, it retests the trend line, and then they enter. They also use EMA. So when they have EMA crossing, they like entering. They wait for a bounce of these trend lines. So oftentimes they also wait for three touches. So if you have a trend line that only touches two times, it's not really considered a trend line. Basically, they really want to have multiple touches of trend lines. Okay? They use many trend lines in many different direction and many different time frames. You already saw the traders doing this, and this. This is how they do it. So, the stop loss goes above the first or second touch because basically if the trend line touches here and they put their stop loss here, it doesn't make any sense. They put it at the previous structure. That does a little bit more sense, especially in a higher time frame also. They typically don't move their stop loss to break even. I've put this because I've traded trend line and I usually never put my stop loss to break even. I was oftentimes trailing my stop loss. Okay, now let's see how all of these retails enter in a trend forming. All right, so you have your three touches of the trend line, third touch here, confirm entry, stop loss goes here or here. All right, next we have our break and retest traders and breakout traders entering. Do you see how everything stacks together? Basically, we have the three retail strategies we just learned in one single graph, right? So you have a range, making a new high, breakout traders entering. You then have a second retest of the trend line, break and retest traders entering, and price moves higher. New breakout traders entering, price retest the trend lines, new break and retest traders entering, plus the third touch of the trend line. So you can already see that here we have three traders entering, so there's three stop losses. Here we have two traders entering, we have two stop losses. Here we have one trader entering, so we have one stop loss, and we have the third touch of the trend line that oftentimes traders put here below the structure. So this is how we see it, right? Next, channels. Also, trendline traders love to put channels. So just so we make it clear, when we're going to be referring to trendline traders, oftentimes we're going to be using channels because it gives an indication of the intention that price is moving higher. All right, it's really important that we learn this because I use channels every single day. It's one of the most important ways of identifying a trend. At the moment, since I'm a little bit more advanced, I don't really use the channels anymore. but it's really important for you guys to practice it. Because basically, when we have a channel and the price goes above or below, it's trying to induce them doing something else, right? Now price is inducing them to the high side. All right, let's see how it looks like on a static chart. Similar price action, we have a range breaking higher, right? Break and retest entering. I didn't put the breakout traders here because it wasn't super clean, and basically we have so much breakout traders here. I just want to put the relevant stuff, all right? Now, since breakout traders entered here, stop loss should be here, but I put it here so it's more clean, but you should understand that they can put stop loss here. But this is the whole structural leg, and I think it's more clean that it's below, all right? Now, price is moving higher, breakout traders entering, retesting, and break and retest traders here. We have the third touch of the trend line. Do you notice how the trend line doesn't touch perfectly? And this is exactly how they see it. You need to understand that it's never perfect. The trend line never touches perfectly. This is why I put these circles here to be able to understand that there's a trend here. All right. When it touches perfectly, it's better, but we need to understand that we need to see price like they do. All right. And at the moment, this is the most relevant trend line that we can put here. Okay. Same thing here, range, price pushes higher. I decided to not put break and retest breakout traders here just so it's more clean. Retest, third touch of the trend line, stop loss here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. So it's exactly the same thing than here, than this, but on a chart, right? It was pretty obvious that I was looking for something similar, right? And let's see how it looks like with a channel. This is how it looks like. Are you starting to see like how they see price action? And just so it's clear, this is on the M1. This M5. This can be seen on the M1, on the M15, on the H1. Like people when they ask me, "Oh, Joe, how come you never go above M5?" Because I don't need to, right? I'm looking to trade intraday. So I want trades that are done in a couple of minutes. I'm able to trade a higher time frame, but my trades will last too long. I don't need to know a bias, right? Basically, I want to be able to enter and be out on the same day. This is what intraday is, and this is exactly why I'm not looking at higher time frame. Okay? Remember when we discussed that they can use trend lines in um, multiple direction? I'll show you exactly how they see it sometimes. Now I decided to not put the stop losses here because it would be a complete mess and it would confuse you. So basically, we have the range. Same thing than before. Breakout traders entering, breaking retests entering here from the range, price pushes, breakout traders entering, third touch of the trend line, also breaking retest traders entering, three stop loss because 1, 2, 3. Okay. We have these ones 1, 2. Okay, it's starting to match now. Price pushes higher, then goes below, takes this trend line, takes the stop losses here. Now you even have price going higher, retesting that trend line below here. So now they think it's a reversal. Now it goes below, it pushes it lower. There's a new trend line being formed here. But there's also this trend line here being formed, and this one retests. So now it's possible that price goes lower. So they have another channel here and another trend line here. But basically, this price is just inducing to take all these stop losses. And as you can see, since these people here entering here are probably trailing their stop loss, this is why price stops here and then goes higher. This is the definition of what an inducement is, and we'll discuss about it later. But you will understand that an inducement, it's either inducing people to do something or it's either taking their position out. This is why it's important to understand that the inducement, it's not only taking the stop losses, that would be way too easy, right? The inducement is basically making traders do something and then taking them out. So I hope it's a little bit more clear that sometimes it's so obvious what they're doing, you can see it here, that it's even funny. You could just, if you would want, since you don't have an inducement, you could buy from these trend lines. It's stupid, but it's actually true. All right. There's two ways of trading. It's either trading against and away from an inducement or trading into an inducement. I think you already saw me trading into an inducement, like when your price goes fast in my direction, or you already saw me taking trades when it's away from an inducement on my Instagram. And I'll show you everything. So what's important is to understand that the trend line traders are using channels and also using trend. Now we're going to be looking at a live chart on how it looks like and how to identify it. I'm going to tell you these price action that we're going to be seeing are so insane that you will literally open your eyes that how traders trade and how we can trade against them and make money. All right? Cool. Perfect. Now let's see what we just learned, how it looks like on the chart. So as you guys can see, here we have a range. You confirm. So basically, if we have a range, we have breakout traders entering, right? Perfect. Now, where would be the most relevant stop loss for them? You need to understand how structure works. If we go clearly, precisely where the stop loss would be located, it would be here because this was the leg that led to new high, right? This one failed to make a new high. So it's really, these details are really important, all right? Perfect. Same thing here. We can see a range. Now price breaks, retest this zone. Okay, let's put this here like this. Now breakout, break and retest traders entering here. Oops. Here we go. So we can put a stop loss here. All right, below their zone. Now price goes higher. We have a breakout traders entering here and putting their stop loss here. Okay, perfect. Now to continue. Price now seems to be making a trend line. Here we go like this. Let's mark this as a line. All right. Now we have a new high here. Where's this thing here? Entry. Breakout traders entering here. All right. Stop loss is here. Interesting. Cool. Now price retest this third trend line here. People confirm to enter here. The smart trendline traders would wait for a new high, but as you can see, price goes and touches this trend line and fails to go and go higher, right? Now let me take your attention real quick. Breakout traders are entering their stop loss here, right? They're here. Once price moves higher, retests the zone and makes a new high, their stop loss is moved here, right? Trailing stop loss, or they move to break even. Both of them are good, okay? So there's no more stop losses here, okay? Same thing here when price breaks higher. These guys here trail their stop losses here, okay? Are you starting to see what I'm trying to show you? Now price, we can argue a break and retest here entering, right? There's a support becoming a resistance here. Here touches here and fails to do it. I'm not going to put it because it's not super relevant for the example. Now, pay attention. Price touches this trend line, makes a fake high, then induces with, we can clearly see that this is a manipulation and an inducement because look at all of the engulfing candles. Price goes, takes this zone out and takes the most relevant stop loss location here. Okay, but remember what we discussed earlier, they induce people on both sides. Interesting, right? Now let's continue. Now since we have a new low here, we have breakout traders entering. Where would be their stop loss? Below this high, because this high was the leg that led to the new low. All right, let's continue. Now we haven't even talked about the SMC trader, okay? I'm just telling you, one thing at a time. Stay focused. Price takes all of the liquidity. People would wait for liquidity to be taken here, but there's nothing left here. Like, it's irrelevant for now. Most of them already pushed their stop loss higher. Now price induces low, takes this, goes higher, all right? Fails to make a new high. It fails to make a new high, so no breakout traders entering here. What do we have that happens here? You can already see it. We have another break and retest traders entering here. All right, here we go. Put stop loss below the zone. Price goes higher, fails to make a new low, so there's no breakout traders entering. Break and retest trader variation 1 entered because they're stupid. Price fails to make a new low. What happens also? Takes out their liquidity to then go higher, right? Like I said, we can already see the good old smart money trap here, right? But we're not going to talk about it right now. Do you see, we can even put the channel, oops, uh, uh, a channel here. We can already see it, why it failed to make a new high. Isn't this insane how you can clearly see what they are building here? Retest again of this break and retest, making them even re-enter again, fails to make a new high, low, and then price goes into the correct direction. This is exactly the same price action we saw earlier, and I'll give you more example, but this example was so good. Again, this would be a trade I would take 10 times out of 10. It's easy, right? It's always the same thing. Rinse and repeat. Okay? Now, let's give you another example. Same thing here. Break and retest here, entering here. We also have breakout traders entering here. Breakout traders entering here. Break and retest traders entering here, right? Same thing here. Breakout traders entering here. Here. Same thing here. It's always the same thing. Always the same thing. As you can see, I do it pretty quickly because I have a little bit more experience. But I know you will be able to do it also. In hindsight, it's super easy. So here we have these two guys here, here, here. here, here. Now we also have that trend line here. All right, let's put this as a line. Okay, so we have one, one, two, three touches. So their stop loss would go here. This is trend line traders here. I forgot to put trend line earlier. I'm sorry. Trend line here. We can also argue that this is a channel here, like this. All right. What happens? Boom, boom, boom. Touches perfectly, induces lower. Now they would argue that there's a new trend line being formed here, like this. Then it fails again. It goes higher. So remember, the examples I'm giving you cannot be induced every single time at the same moment. Like, it's not because they push price higher that it will be induced right now. It will be later at another day, right? And as you can see, it's exactly the same thing. People entering here, pushing price higher, their stop loss is now here, and look how perfectly it takes their stop loss. Because these guys that are here move with their stop loss, trail it the stop loss here. Look how price didn't go lower, right? We need to really see where is the remaining liquidity. Look how perfectly it went and tapped this and this. I would take this like this. Boom, 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 and I would target the high of this liquidity. 1 to 10. Okay, this is super simple stuff. Now let's practice again. Let's continue. Let's search for trend lines. Okay? Here, you can already see a trend line clearly chopping down. Trend line here, here. You can see that I don't put them perfectly. I try to make sense based on what I see, right? They come down, they take this. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so breakout traders entering here. Here. Entry. Stop loss. Always rinse and repeat. It's always the same thing. We can argue that there's a trend line here. I know it looks stupid, but this is how they trade. All right. Same thing here. People entering here as breakouts. So breakout. We have also break-in retest trader because it's retesting. Move it out higher. Testing the zone. Here, break-in retest. It's always the same thing. And I'm on the M5. It's always the same thing. 1, 2, 3 touches. Perfectly, like this. Right? We can even argue that this is also a channel. You can see that the channels are easier, right? Because you want to copy them. It's easier when you see a channel, you see a trend, right? Now you have here breakout traders entering here. Here we go. Now we have two guys here, two stop losses. All right. Now we have a stop loss here because they're breakout entering here. All right. We also have breakouts entering here. All right. Sounds good. Now, do we have break and retest traders entering here? Yes. You can already see it. It's like I'm adding all of the strategies we just saw one by one, adding them one by one. All right. Now, I'll remove this trend line because it's pretty nasty. It doesn't make any sense to be here. Here we go. Breakout traders here. Okay. Price moves higher, moves lower. Retest this zone. Breakout traders entering here. All right. Now we have the stop loss here. We also have stop loss here. All right. Above this zone here. Like this. Okay, this is the leg that led to your low, so there's the stop loss here. Same thing, so these we have two stop loss because we have this guy and this guy entering. What do we have more here? We have a second touch of the trend line, so we can put a touch here. Now price fills. Okay, we can already see that there's more many traders here trying to short, but let's not get into too much involved into this. So trend line going lower, new traders entering, taking their most relevant stop loss location. As you can see, the engulfing candles proves it. All right, going lower, stop loss, retesting here, pushing lower. Look how every single time that they take either liquidity or making people enter, in this case is making people enter, look how the vectors and engulfing candles are there. Look at this. Look at all the black candles. Boom, boom. Look how price moves back. This is complete manipulation, right? Okay, let's continue. And price comes and takes these ones, right? Sometimes, like when we discussed earlier, we said that the stop loss would be moved to break even, right? But remember, there's still this zone here that we didn't mark, okay, as breakout traders, and probably the last relevant break-even point would be this one, and this is why they took this. And this is why we don't predict. We try to understand where is the most relevant liquidity, and once it's ready, it's ready. All right. There's a reason why it didn't went below here, and it's because probably all of the liquidity has been moved to this location here. And you can already see, boom, boom, same thing, and oh, didn't quite touch, but if we can take all this here, no, probably all this, yeah, this would be more better, like this, boom, 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 and we target the last stop losses here. We can target this one, but like let's not make a whole deal for like 0.2 R. And this is also a trade I took. So how does that look like? I think it's like something you guys should practice a lot to master it. This is one of the most important aspect of liquidity is the trends. We can see their building price up and taking again, oops, all of their stop losses one by one. Look how price moves fast taking this one. Here we go. Taking this one. Look how price moves quick here. The vector. Boom.